Folks, today we're going to learn about a vicious, despicable beast, a dangerous new breed of venomous reptile that's on the loose. The true danger lies not in its venom, but in its camouflage. This beast has the ability to look human and can be found any place where people gather. Yes, like where we live, where we work, where we pray, and where we play, and especially online. And make no mistake about it, this beast is a predator of the highest order that depends on lies. So in this video, we're going to learn what it truly is, starting with its true name. Friends, it's called the narcissist. So let's take a real good look behind the mask of the narcissist to see it for what it is and the nightmare that it will always be, because this is your wake-up call. Be right back. So welcome back to some ashy hands right here, for real. Hold on. You know we don't do so well with the whole ashiness thing, right? When you're waterproof up top, you know, you can put lotion up on your dome. That's a convenience right there, you know? All right. I probably should get a little bit more on these elbows. Let me see. Damn, I put them on the camera too? I put them on the camera! God dang it. All right. Well, let's just say that that's gonna be good right there. I feel hydrated. So, let's talk about narcissism. There's a lot of talk about this personality disorder. A lot of information is being spread. You know, a lot of it's good information. Some of it may be a little bit off. So I thought, let us go ahead and approach this whole personality, this very painful condition, from a practical, common sense approach while incorporating the facts so you can understand it. And if you happen to be suffering from by being with someone who's having this disorder, you can use this information to better protect yourself and to pick your next steps on what you need to do. It's a very damaging, manipulative situation to be in. Really dangerous. What is narcissism? Narcissism is a personality disorder in which this occurs in early childhood, where a person receives what is known as a narcissistic injury, in that the parents who are supposed to make the child feel safe were either unavailable emotionally for this child, or the parent, say, was physically and mentally, even possibly sexually abusive. And in many cases, the parent was a narcissist themselves. Children need to be made to feel safe. That's a part of a healthy development. That's a part of the development for, fortunately, many of us, right? We're raised with a sense of feeling that we've been loved. Even if we're in a difficult situation, you know, there's somewhere where we can go. There's somebody who makes us feel loved. And somewhere within that, we have security. And then we can go out and explore the world and learn about other people and other things. And in the process, we learn about ourselves. In a narcissistic family, which is where many of these narcissists come from, the family becomes kind of like a narcissist producing machine. I mean, they bang out more narcissists than Apple produces iPhones. They just come rolling out, bam, 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 bam. They tend to idealize and normalize narcissistic behavior, which many of us would find to be extremely disturbing and dysfunctional in certain cultures and in certain families. It's not just like, you know, a certain particular country, right? But, you know, just within certain these cult-like families, they may see a narcissist, the bully of the family, usually, as being a go-getter, somebody who makes things happen, right? Somebody who's just boss with their stuff. Okay? And many of y'all, unfortunately, are familiar with that also in your jobs, in your workplaces. What happens is, let's say, what a narcissist will do, a narcissist cannot generate their own sense of self-esteem, their own sense of value. So what they have to do is they get their value from the outside world. They get it through the opinions and the thoughts and feelings of others. They can't just sit quietly by themselves and generate warm thoughts like, I am worthy, I am somebody. Y'all remember that movie? It was a house party. It's old school. This is old. Y'all ain't gonna get this. If you ain't at least about 30, 35, 30, this is over your head. But in the house party, it was a group called Full Force. You can probably look it up. And the police stopped them because they were acting like a damn fool. And he was forcing them to do the whole Reverend Jackson thing. You know, I am somebody. Kids were made to recite positive affirmations that was going to help build their self-esteem, as opposed to reciting all of the negative, stupid things that is in the media and the various songs and things like that. All right, so that being said, a narcissist cannot generate their own sense of value, own sense of worth, their own self-esteem. They got to get it through everyone else. So that means that they've got to frantically run around and try to put on a facade that, you know, and sell themselves as being desirable and sell themselves as being caring and basically present themselves as the most ideal person in wherever community, whatever set where they are. Okay? And as they receive this, you know, well-wishing and this, you know, positive feelings and these thoughts and all that stuff, right? That builds them up, man. They feel great, right? Because they are no more than the totality of how people see them. So you know when people go on Facebook and they're like out there jockeying for likes and thumbs up and all that stuff, and you're like, oh man, you know, you may think to yourself, oh, this person is kind of shallow, a little bit needy, or, you know, it's kind of like a, you know, an attention hound or something like that, right? In the case of a narcissist, that's their life's blood. They need that. That's not just simply like, oh, it'd be nice to have. Without having people look at them with some type of attention and admiration, the admiration they were starved for when they were a child, they don't exist. It's an intense pain that they feel when they don't have that. It's a painful, it's like they never were born. And we're going to go into why that is too. So the narcissist parent, right now we're in a stage where we're talking about how the narcissist came to be, what it is and how it came to be. The narcissist parent is going to drain the child of all attention and energy. If you approach the child of a narcissist and talking about, hey, you know, your kid did great in class, she's so pretty, he's so smart or handsome or whatever, right? The narcissist parent is going to redirect that attention to themselves. Like, oh, you know, I helped her with her homework, or, you know, my dad's genes, or, you know, he was a model. And so, you know, I passed those genes on to my son or whatever it is, right? But they are going to basically like trick or treating, reaching in a kid's bag of treats, and they're going to snatch all the child's candy out that bag and leave nothing but tricks, right? And as the child is in pain, the narcissist doesn't have a sense of empathy, so they don't give a damn. I mean, they just don't. A narcissist cannot see beyond their own personal needs. So I'm not saying these things to vilify them, because they do a good job of that in and of themselves. I'm saying these things as a matter of fact so that we can understand them, because as we move into this explanation of who the narcissist is and what they do, you're going to see that the narcissist, as for all the people who want revenge and who wish them ill, because they have truly earned it. They're very talented at destroying lives and destroying people. And so as much as they've earned all of that, what you'll find is that they're already in hell. They're already there. This is not a judgment. If you're pissed at a narcissist, understandably so, if you're pissed at a narcissist, what you're basically experiencing is, one, you're not finished processing the pain, and, you know, be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to mourn. Go through that. That's normal. No judgment. Go through that pain. If you're pissed at a narcissist, one, you're not finished with the pain yet, processing that. And two, you don't understand narcissism. You don't fully understand it just yet. And understanding doesn't mean that you'll love them, but understanding means that you will generate feelings within yourself that will essentially hurt the narcissist. When you really understand them for who they are, how vulnerable naked and afraid. That's a show, Naked and Afraid. How useless, worthless, empty, hopeless, devoid of just anything of value. I mean, when you really get it, you'll see like, damn, it's bad, man. It's bad. The only way that they survive is through trickery, exploitation, deception, deceit, trickery, things like that. And on the surface, the pictures on social media, the things that they do, they look kind of flashy. The smile that they shine looks appealing. The makeup, the perfume, the things that they do, they're convincing. But the truth, and where's my chapstick, damn it? Because my lips is dry. Hold up. Okay, that should work. The truth is that they are so, not only are they empty, they hate themselves so much. So let us continue. So the parent is, constantly steering attention away from the child, stealing the attention, taking the accolades, all this kind of stuff. Underhanded statements, knocking the child. You're a little bit fat. You're cute, but you're fat too, right? You're this and you're that. Between the formative ages of about 2 to 7 years old is when the narcissistic injury occurs in the child, where the child takes his last punch from the narcissistic parent. That's when the narcissistic parent leans in and gives that child that final uppercut, bop, and the child is like, damn it, that's it. And from that point, the parent, and when I use some of these terms, I need to define for you right now. When I use parent, I'm speaking of guardian. It could be grandma, uncle, foster parent. It's the person who was in charge of raising this child, keeping this child safe, seeing that this child got to develop a normal life, right? Typically, it's the parent or whoever's filling that parent role. I'm also going to go through this and refer to the narcissist in the gender of female, but understand as a condition, it could apply to men as well. I just choose to go with female. A lot of times people say male. I'm going to go with female on this one, okay? Now, when the child gives up and takes that final gut punch from the parent, the parent narcissist, the child decides to put away her own personality. This is the last time you'll ever see that fledgling developing personality. The person that child was supposed to be, she was trying to be, it's dead. It's in the coffin. Final nail is on the casket. The child put it away. There's too much pain and shame involved with being this person. So the child decides, well, you know what? They create this sort of an alter ego thing, what we typically call like a mask. And this is the mask that the child is going to now navigate life with. And this identity that's created is going to be strong enough to endure the abuse of her parents, the narcissistic parent, as well as this cruel world that the child has now, grown to see the world as, because, nobody's protecting this kid. This kid is having her ass handed to her and nobody's really protecting her. Not to a degree that's going to change things. This personality, this alter ego is a beast that the child created, where the parent would come in some days and be emotionally, fragile and triggered easily, and throwing a fit. And the child's like, damn, all they want to do is what? They want mom or dad to be happy. But they don't know what to say and what to do because, mom or dad never learned to control their own emotions. They never learned to regulate and take responsibility. So, they might be smiling out in public, but they're a damn animal. The kid is like, walking on eggshells. The parent may value something shallow like accomplishments, may go into a transactional relationship for love, right? Maybe there's some siblings and the narcissistic parent will play one against the other. So Linda and Lucy. Lucy is a grade A, top-notch student, getting all A's, doing a great job. That's Lucy. Linda is, whatever, is cute. And she's cute and about an average student. Narcissistic parent, just for whatever reason, may pick the cuter one, the physically attractive one, over the grade A student, and will go ahead and dote and make the one that is cute with average grades the golden child and say, oh, she's great, and go to all the school functions and talk her up to all of her friends and talk nothing but trash to the grade A student. What happens is this child is now going to create the identity that's going to be strong enough to take this abuse, so they're going to be smart enough to know just the right thing to say. Whatever mom, whatever dad's flipping out on, is that this identity is brilliant, all-knowing, makes no mistakes. This identity is beautiful, attractive, and seductive. So if the people in their family and circles who have influence, they notice happen to be attractive or whatever, boom, the kid is now going to be like, hey, I'm going to be a sex pot. I'm going to be the beautiful one that people are going to be staring at. She's going to make a special effort to excel in this area. They're going to take a grandiose type of position where they look down on everyone else. They're superior. Again, this is a collection of what the child views as popular and successful in their area. Now listen, we're talking about a kid between the ages of 2 and 7. So what type of discretion is really there? I mean, they're doing the best that they can. It's a kid, you know what I mean? I mean, think about the things that you wanted as a kid and where you are today. The things that you wanted then, you don't necessarily want now. But the person that a narcissist is today was largely created when they were a child. And so, in effect, they are a child in an adult's body today because they're dysregulated and their development, emotional development, was arrested and they never got to develop life skills. So, where we were learning stuff like empathy and teamwork and partnership and trust and honesty and cooperation and sacrifice and stuff like that, and friendship. Well, we were learning these, how to get along with people in a society, how to get along with people in our families, right? Even though that's not perfect, our families are taught up, right? However, we do what we can, right? Hey, look, they are like out there. It's kind of like the Jungle Book, raised by wolves, okay? When we talk about narcissists, shit, it's a wrap. Their parents scorched the earth when it comes to their child learning love, empathy, and the things it takes to function as a healthy member of a society. Now, what crops will grow inside of the narcissist, thank you, mom and dad, of the narcissist, are things like distrust, insecurity, abandonment issues, that's a big one, infidelity, a sense that they are more important and more valid than anyone else around, gossiping. It's just a lot of negativity. And these are the things, when you hear people talking about narcissism and they refer to them as being demonically possessed, this is why, it's not really a far off shoot, depending on how you choose to see things. Now, I've seen myself as being more spiritual than religious, but I gotta tell you, if I gave a narcissist a glass of holy water and they took a sip and they looked at me and said, what is this, bleach? I wouldn't be surprised to hear that from them. I feel like, yes, it's Clorox. I'm sorry, that was an accident. Okay? Hey, you can leave now, right? Because, you don't want them in your house. You got to scrub all the walls down, burn incense, bring people, start chanting and all that kind of stuff. All right, that was a bit of a tangent. The narcissist is going to see to it that her future partners, the people that she interacts with, they're going to pay dearly for the pain that her parents have visited upon her as a child. It's going to be pure hell. In fact, her own children are going to pay because they're going to be the next generation of narcissists. Just like the damn iPhone 10, iPhone 11, they're going to be Narcissist 10, Narcissist 11, Narcissist 0.5, ice cream sandwich, cupcake, Cinderella, whatever, all right? They're the next operating system, the next version of narcissism, okay? This is why I try to emphasize it's so important for us to get involved and to not be bystanders. That's a horrible affliction for today. When people think, that you can just stand by, just let things fall where they may. It's not that kind of world. It's not. And I'm not going to lie. I used to think that the whole trying to be a hero, was kind of like naive, right? Like who do you think you are? It's a big world. You can go out there and police everybody? No, it's not about policing everyone, but damn it, it is about taking some kind of stake in your world. Because if not, why are you here? If you are not going to impact the world in which you live in some way, what is your point for being here? If you don't use, hold on for a second, that's probably some chili coming back. Don't you worry about that. If you're not going to function within, your abilities to function, to impact the world and to help someone else in some level, no matter how small, I don't understand. I really don't. I don't. That is a form of, that should be in the DSM right alongside narcissism. Standing around doing nothing and seeing people in trouble, seeing suffering, seeing things not work optimally, having the ability to make some type of change, to do something and do nothing, if there is not a diagnosis, a mental or emotional or personality diagnosis, a disorder about that, it should be. Because it's not healthy. It's not healthy. So the narcissist is going to fill himself up from the outside, right? Now we're going to do the stages of the hunt. And now in another clip, I'm going to talk about the traits of a narcissist, which is a lot. And what they do is just, they do, as my daughter would say, you're doing too much, Dad. You're doing too much. Okay. Some of the slang is kind of crazy, too much. What the hell is that? Too much. You're doing too much. Anyway, and I didn't realize that we have bubbles behind us. I wasn't sure about if I really like that, because that just don't seem to be too masculine, a bunch of bubbles floating around behind me. But I'm going to let it ride. But I'm just going to take a note of that because I can get very passionate and I don't mind being vulnerable as well. But considering how we got bubbles behind us and whatnot, I think I'm gonna probably chill on the vulnerable emotional piece because I just can't see myself getting choked up with a bunch of colorful bubbles flying around behind me. Now, let's go with the stages of the hunt. And the stages of the hunt for a narcissist is basically a relationship, how they see relationships. And that's a good segue in there, how they see relationships. A narcissist engages with a person. The narcissists themselves are not people. This is my take on it. They are not people. They are not human or humane. They are lacking critical things that are required in order to be considered human. They have a human body, but having a body alone doesn't qualify one for being human. They breathe, go to the toilet, have sex, in some of the worst, nasty, twisted ways. They violate their parents, they violate everybody, their partners. But these things, of course, don't make them human. So because they're absent the things required for humanity, in my view, the fact that people refer to them as demonic, the fact that people are losing sleep around the world, staring at the ceiling, wondering what the f is wrong with this person, okay? That's a problem. That's a problem. See, being human and furthermore, being a man or being a woman, that's a pretty high mantle. It's not, let's go with that. Let's be real. It's not easy being a man or a woman, but it's worth the effort. It's worth the effort. The argument used to be, we're in Tangentville, people. We're in Tangentville right now. The argument used to be, oh, he ain't a man. He can have kids. He got kids and he ain't taking care of them. Or a woman too. She's not taking care of her kids. She won't cook dinner or whatever. She's not a woman. So remember that argument? So if that's the case, if that's the thought, and I understand that, we say, oh, a man is not a man unless he's behaving as a man, thinks as a man, does as a man, then he is a man. But being male and being man is something different. Okay? Same for women. Well, why don't we extend that forward a little bit to being a human being? Why drop the standards for humanity? Why drop the standards so low? She's got a pulse. She takes a dump once in a while. She can speak. She looks like a woman. She's a human. No, no. A narcissist does not see people as people. They don't value them. People are a opportunity for them, a commodity. Narcissists cannot see beyond their own needs. When they wake up in the morning, they open their eyes, the thought that occurs to them is, how am I going to get my needs met? So before I talk about how a narcissist engages with a victim, because that's all it is. There's never any love, but they do sell love, right? Whether it be just falsifying the idea to, entrap or get someone on the hook, or literally selling their bodies, which is not uncommon for many of them to be engaged in sex work and things like that, because they don't really give a damn anyway in many cases, right? It's all about what they need. And this includes the married women, and men. They can't get beyond their own grandiose impression of themselves, which is really a defense mechanism for how insecure and insignificant they feel. A narcissist cannot see beyond their own needs. So what they do is they see people as a commodity. They see people as a means to an end, a means to fulfilling their own needs. They see people as an appliance. And so if you're with a narcissist and you're that primary supply for them, then you're just the appliance of the week or the appliance of the month. They don't care who the appliance is made by. It could be General Electric, it could be Kia, a Korean car manufacturer. Although if Kia began making toasters, I'm pretty sure it would probably wind up looking like a Mercedes or a BMW or a Land Rover or something like that, but because they copy everything, but that's another story. Narcissists see, they don't care about the toaster itself. They just care about eating toast. And so that's why the victims of narcissism, they often find it hard to believe how easily they can be replaced and discarded. It's because they throw a toaster out, they throw people out into the trash bin just as quickly as they would a toaster that they feel is no longer functioning. It really means nothing to them. And what you were led to believe earlier was just a lie. And it's kind of evident by the way that they treat you. What you notice with a narcissist is that once that toaster stops performing in the way that the narcissist wants it to produce toast, right? It can still crank toast out, but maybe it just doesn't do it the same. It doesn't do it as fast. It doesn't do it to the same, level or something like that, whatever it is, right? The narcissist will replace that toaster with another one in a heartbeat. And as long as that next toaster is banging out toast, life is good. The narcissist is enjoying her toast, and the previous toaster is out in the trash outside weeping, wondering what happened, thinking, my God, I thought that I was in love. I thought she loved me, right? How could she do this? She told me she loved me. How could she do this? And she's not even thinking about you. The toasters that get tossed out are never completely out of the narcissist's life. The narcissist considers them to be kind of like in storage, to be revisited again. So the narcissist basically collects and captures people, breaks spirits, damages their sense of worth of who they are through extreme manipulation and pain, discards them, throws their asses in the trash or in storage, and then but collects them, keeps an eye on them, to swing back around at her convenience as the flow of people that she's manipulating and working, as that starts to die off, then she goes back to her little secondary, trash bin and seeing who's damaged enough to go back into a relationship with her, right? So she'll go back and she'll throw emails out there. Hey, how you doing? Pretend like nothing ever happened. And anybody hungry enough or still damaged and injured, who has not done the work, who's not ready to stand in their own strength and realize what they were dealing with. Someone who hasn't seen one of these videos that I'm putting out here like this can be susceptible to jumping right back into that filthy, exploitive relationship with her. And then she'll repeat the process. So the stage of a relationship with a narcissist happens in 3 stages. And I'll tell you what they are designed to accomplish and what triggers them and how you move on, why they move you to the next level. There is the idealization, the devaluation, and the discard. There's also a 4th one, but I like to kind of put that off to the burner, because if you're really paying attention to what's happening here, hopefully you won't get to that 4th one. That doesn't need to happen. But the 4th stage is kind of a loop that brings you back in. But we don't want to go back in, so damn the 4th one. It's a one-time pass. There's idealization, devaluation, and the discard. Idealization is basically where they may have done a little homework on you. They spotted you, right? And they thought, oh, this person will be a nice source of supply. You know, what is supply? Supply is giving the narcissist some type of emotional energy and attention. The same attention that they were deprived of when they were a child. They're hungry for it today. They want you to be like, oh, you're so great, this way and all this stuff, right? Now, they do this through different means. One is mirroring. They find out as much as they can about you. They do a lot of listening. They're studying. Because they don't have empathy, their personality, the one that they're showing you, this fake mask, is a collection of the things that they put together when they were a child, and it's also bits and pieces of what they've observed along the way. It's truly a Frankenstein of personalities. It's just a collection of shit, you know, that they've seen, and they thought, oh, this woman over here is very, charismatic, right? Now, they don't know what it means to really have charisma, but they'll copy some of her mannerisms. This guy is really charismatic, or funny, or, the vulnerability thing. Man, that's so sexy, that vulnerability. So they'll copy it. They'll do the best they can to mimic it, pieces of it. And they get pretty good at copying. And so they'll present those things, and they will mirror the person that they're targeting. And that, if the person that they're targeting is a hunter, then they'll be like, hey, I like the outdoors. I love to hunt, In fact, if you got a pistol, give it to me. I'll go out there and I'll pistol whip the animal to make it easier for you to shoot him. They're like, I'm down. Your favorite color is red, so is mine. I love to travel. I love R&B and rap. I love country music. I love to cook. Now, none of this is true. This is all absolutely false. But mirroring is a very powerful technique. In fact, the hostage negotiators, use this technique to bridge the gap and endear themselves, to build the trust of the people who are desperate people who they're negotiating with. They'll often mirror things back. So this is a proven technique. And that's what the narcissist is full of. It's full of manipulative tactics and techniques. They're a walking briefcase or designer bag of lies and deception. But you don't know that from the start, because most of us are not expecting the worst of people. Now, they will also, during this phase, is future faking. They're listening to what you want. You want 10 kids? I want 11 kids. I'm going to be the best wife ever. You're the perfect partner. They're making you feel like, like you're really special. And in a sense, they're giving you a taste of what it is that they will expect you to do for them in the next stage. They're giving you a sense, and it feels great. They're giving you a sense of what the narcissist wants on a daily basis. And the thing is, it requires an immense amount of energy to be constantly idealizing and worshiping people and all this kind of stuff. And this is not something that a narcissist can maintain indefinitely. So, this will maybe go on for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, right? But ultimately, it moves into the next phase. Once they feel like you've signed up for the timeshare, You sat in the class, the narcissist class, and they've sold you this thing, and you're like, I'm so fortunate. Jesus Christ brought you here. No one's ever made me feel this way. They've told you their hard luck story. They've crafted their personal narrative about where they've been. They've left out how they have damaged and destroyed all the people around them, and they've placed themselves as a victim in the story about how bad it is, but they're on the upswing and they're in counseling and all that. And you're like, my God, I'm so lucky. This is a perfect person. She's so special. Okay. Once you've bought into all of their shit.
Got him! Got him! Oh! Whoa!
They're like, now it's time to move into the devaluation. Now, devaluation is when they take that pedestal they've put you on, that you feel so great about, grab one of their legs and snatch that thing from up under you. They snatch that pedestal. The way that's going to be done is that they are going to devalue. They're going to act like nothing that you have is important or of value to them. Nothing that you provide them, nothing that you are as a person is special to the fact that they can get it from anywhere else. They don't need you. You're not needed. And so they'll break engagements with you and break dates and start to go off with other friends and leave you and not take your call. Where before they would, take your calls all the time. The phone's going to ring. They're not going to return your calls, things like that. And that's going to lead the target to feeling doubtful, self-doubt. Like, what the hell's going on? Is it something that I did, right? Is it me? What's up? It's going to lead the target to feeling that way. And that's what the narcissist actually wants. So as things progress, the narcissist is looking for a desired outcome here. I want to cut to the chase. The desired outcome is complete subjugation. It is to be dominant over their target. And this includes a female dominating a man, right? She wants him simped out and moist, right? She wants him on his knees and just serving her. Now, this is going to be done through an increasing amount of abuse and neglect. So what happens is in the earliest stage, you're going to start with this ideal, you're perfect. You're going to think this is a heaven, right? Heaven. And then abruptly, you'll be introduced into a type of hell, right? I don't know which Dante's circle of hell you're going to be in. Let's just say out of how many circles was it? Was it 9 circles, damn it? Let's just say out of 9 circles, with one being the least, right? The least severe, they'll bring you at 1 or 2. And they're going to slowly drop you through these circles of hell of intensity, right? Which is supposed to break your resolve as a target, where you are going to ultimately just give up and say, listen, I see that, there's nothing that I can do. I've tried to resolve these problems. You're complaining about me. You're telling me that I need help. I got psychological problems. I chew too loud. I walk funny. I don't listen, right? All these problems, all this nitpicking. You're pissed. You give me the silent treatment. You won't listen. It's just so much aggression here, and nothing seems to be solving it, right? Nothing. I give up. I give up. You're the boss. Just get us back to when it was good. Clearly, I can't do it. And that's what it's designed to do. All this hell and crazy making that the narcissist creates is designed to knock the spirit and take the power away from the person, to say, forget about how smart you think you are. You're not solving this problem. Because this problem is created by the narcissist by design and was not meant to be solved. So people can go one or two ways. You can go with the abuse. You can go with that and break down and say, okay, look, just get me back to the idealization. Of course, you don't know the term idealization, right? But in your mind, you're thinking, get back to the relationship. Now, what you don't know, what people don't know, is that never existed. The thing that the victim is hanging on desperately to is hanging on to false hope for something that he thinks he experienced, but it was all a show. It wasn't real. Now, if the victim knew this, is my belief, if the victim knew this, then they would be, the whole process would be a whole lot shorter, okay? Because it would be like waiting for a meal that doesn't exist. If you looked through the window of a restaurant, you saw a beautiful meal, and then you took a seat in the dining room and you're waiting for that meal that you saw, right? As long as you think that that meal is coming, you're like, hey, this is great. I'll wait. 3-4 hours, no problem. I'll wait. But if you knew that that was just a photograph, it wasn't real, that no one in the kitchen is capable of cooking. In fact, it's not even a kitchen. It's a greasy, nasty ass garage with busted car parts. There's not a turkey. There's no potatoes. There's nothing in there at all. If you knew that, you wouldn't wait for 5 minutes. You wouldn't wait for 3 seconds. You would just say, damn, that was a hell of an experience. Let me get the hell out of here. It's a waste of time. Let me go. But the narcissist is going to keep selling, like, dangling, like, yeah, meal is coming. Like, I'm a cook. Meal is coming. Okay? And that's what keeps a victim in flow. If you ever wonder, like, damn, why is it so hard? Because a victim is hanging on a false hope for something that they thought was real. Now, this victim, through all the crazy making that's going on, as you're hanging out with the narcissist, I want to give you a visual of what's happening. Because another question might be, well, why would a victim, allow someone to treat them that bad, him or her? Why? Why would they do that? That doesn't really make sense. You just get up and walk. I wouldn't take that crap. Well, you gotta understand, through the earlier stage, which is the idealization thing, it looked like real love. It looked perfect. It was great. And that victim kind of trusted that person. That narcissist built trust, right? The same way a normal relationship builds trust. They built trust there. And so that person doesn't know that the narcissist is an enemy. They think that it's a troubled friend, a friend with issues maybe, but they don't know that it's the devil. They don't know that this person is possessed demonically. That person has got serious, deeply rooted issues of self-hate, and not only hate for themselves, but hate for her partner as well. They don't know that at all. They just think that with patience, love, and caring, because they were raised on love, and they're trying to see others, and I'm guilty of this, raised with a firm belief in love, I try to see the world and other people in a loving way. So when I come across animals that aren't capable of love, they're truly that. They're kind of like these foreign, bizarre, alien-like animals. Who said that but my man said, Socrates. I think Socrates said that the unexamined life is not worth living. The unexamined life is not worth living. Well, I would add to that, a life absent love is hardly worth living. And that's actually the karma of a narcissist. The narcissist will never know love. Never. Think about it. The narcissist will never know love. Now, with and I don't give a damn if you're out there dating and you find it hard to find the right person, and dating is hell, and whatever you're working through, whatever you're doing, it's a challenge to try to connect with like-minded people and all that. I get all that, but you know what? What you're going through is heaven for the narcissist. If the narcissist could trade places and have a normal dating life, could experience the struggles of what it takes, and of actually meeting people from a point of love, caring, being genuine, if they could be eligible, even just eligible to have that type of life just for a little while, they would absolutely love it. It would be like winning the lottery. But they are completely incapable of that. And it started from childhood, and it's going to be with them for their entire life, because narcissism is a lifelong affliction. There is no cure for narcissism, and it is incredibly hard to treat. The top mental health professionals have not cured it. And in fact, they're reluctant often to even treat it because narcissists will typically try to they'll game the therapist, or they don't come to therapy because they think that they are like godlike. There's nothing wrong. They can't admit that they have a fault. So that'd be like an alcoholic getting drunk in the parking lot and then saying, you know, I'm not going into that meeting. I don't need this crap. At the same time, you know, smashing cars as he drives home, you know, banging up a whole bunch of cars. I don't need this. The narcissist is like 10 times worse. That's another video, and we're gonna have to do that. What becomes of the aging narcissist? I'll give you the whole lay of the land, and when you see it, you say, damn, that's what happens to the narcissist? Yes, that's what happens to the narcissist. It gets so ugly. As they get older, it gets uglier. So that is so you have two different ways you can go with the whole devaluation piece. There is you can break down and just give in to the narcissist, or you can, in which case they'll let you hang around and continue to make toast for them. And as you're making toast, they will abuse you, they will cheat on you, they will lie to you, they will wreck your finances. There is no reward for laying down for the narcissist, right? It's just a slower process to the trash dump outside. You're the toaster. They'll continue to push the button, pop toast out of you. That's your money, sex, attention, and everything else that they want of value, wrecking your family relationships, screwing your relatives, whatever they want to do. They'll keep making toast with you, pop, pop, pop. And then when they're finished with you, then they will throw you outside and get another toaster. The other way to end this devaluation stage is to stand up for yourself. Narcissists are lazy. They don't like to work hard. So if they can't control you, if you're stubborn, if you've got spirit, if you have things in you that's gonna, force you to question things that just don't look right to you. If you're one more of a leader than a follower, and I'm just talking about traits, not judgments. A follower, and I haven't actually thought about that until I'm telling you this now. A follower is someone who won't question a damn thing. They want to go to the path of least resistance. And so they'll just go along with whatever shit is being placed in front of them, keep their mouth shut, and they're content with just being allowed to breathe. A leader is going to question whether or not that makes sense and ask within their spirit, is that right? Is that right? Like a leader insists on having some kind of say over what's happening around them. They're not just going to take it because it's easy. There's a sense of dignity and worth, and there's something about the spirit. We should have a right to have some type of input and to just simply not go with it. So when narcissists come across people with this kind of spirit, it is far too much trouble. That's when they move to the discard, which is throw that toaster in the trash. Time to get another one. Something I did not mention, and that is in the devaluation, the reason why they are devaluing you is actually for another reason additionally, in addition to that. When a narcissist first meets a person, a target, they'll make what is known as a snapshot of the target. Now you might be saying, what the hell is a snapshot? Well, what the narcissist will do is the narcissist will create an image in their mind, an impression of who they think or who they want that person to be. Because narcissists have they have a really strong aversion to being abandoned. They have abandonment issues. To lessen the risk to their own their fragile emotional state of being abandoned, they can't really deal with you as you are because you're too dynamic. You're too unpredictable. You could do any damn thing. But when they create an impression of you, they get to control that. So when they see you and they think, oh, this guy's nice, handsome, well-to-do, doing all right, whatever, I think I'd like to, connect with him, see what I can get out of this toaster, right? They know that it's a temporary arrangement. because they have a long slew of failed relationships, all of which they've made these little narratives around their families and friends. They don't have friends, they got like a flying monkeys and acquaintances. But they've made this sort of a smear thing for the long list of all narcissists have a bunch of failed relationships for obvious reasons. So they know that anyone they connect with, that's on limited time, right? That it's not going to last. Okay. So they kind of prepare for the end as they start. They start doing little things. Now, one of them is the snapshot piece. So they see you and they're like, this person is, I don't know what, I honestly have no idea what the hell a narcissist would like, what type of personality they would create in a snapshot. But whatever it is, it would be desirable for them. It's how they want to see you. Now, what inevitably happens is that you will begin to push back against this snapshot. You being unique, being an individual, right? Being yourself will not match up with whatever the hell they then concocted in their brain. And that is going to cause stress. So that is another reason why they're going to that's another reason why they get closer and closer to putting you into the garbage. Okay. As you start to move away from this snapshot, okay, then as you do that, they're going to come in harder with you with the abuse, the neglect, the drama, the crazy making and all that to try to hammer you into the image that they want you to be in. It's funny because reward for allowing somebody to mold you into their image is going to be some kind of simp, some real weak, terrible thing. You know what I mean? It's like a narcissist isn't comfortable. If you may be wondering, a narcissist is not comfortable with normal, healthy people. So they would never and could never be in a healthy relationship because a narcissist is not only a predator, but a narcissist is a victim as well. And victims are not comfortable with unless they're with other victims. And so what the narcissist has to do is they have to turn you into a victim just so they can feel some sense of comfort. For the many who have experienced narcissism, they can kind of vouch for that, like, damn, you're right. I felt horrible. That's right. Because they were on a mission to convert you into a victim and to project a lot of the pain and shame and this, emotional dysregulation onto you because that's how they feel at home. They didn't know love. Let's go on to the discard. So at this point, you've already pissed them off in one of two ways. You either resisted, your spirit would not let you drop to your knees. You were like the Spartans. What was the boy called? The 300. When old boy said, will you drop to your knees? And old boy's like, my knees are going to be a little bit, nah, that's an Irish thing, but I'm going to do that anyway. He's like, my knees are just a little bit rough and I don't think I can get down on my knees. And old boy was like, oh, he's like, I ain't getting on my damn knees, feeling that. It's like, I ain't getting on my knees. So, yeah. So if you don't get on your knees before the narc lord, if you don't get to your knees, they are going to be pissed, right? You got to go. What's the other way? Oh, you start to move away from that snapshot. In their mind, they see you as one way, but the real you is not the way they imagine in their mind. They're not going to tell you that this is what's happening, but damn it, they're stressed, okay? And they're trying to hammer you down, get you into shape, and you're not doing that. You got to go. The last way is probably the saddest. No judgment for anyone that has been down this road. Just saying, You drop to your knees because you desperately wanted this loving thing that you thought was going to be there. And you dealt with the maybe months or even years of psychological and emotional abuse from this person. And they kept running game, lied to you. By the time they get finished with you, good gracious, man, you're just a mess, all right? And sometimes people are driven to the point of literally of hurting themselves, sometimes committing suicide. And so I'm going to actually put some resources for you to call in the event that you're feeling this way, because my heart truly goes out to you, and it's absolutely not a laughing matter. Sometimes I use interject humor as a way of kind of bringing some levity to intense situations. But do understand, it's never a laughing matter to play with someone's heart. It's not a laughing matter to injure people psychologically, to play little games with them. Right? These are all very vicious tactics used by the animal known as the narcissist, and which is why in my book they're deserving of the terms, the many derogatory terms that they get, to include being called demonic. They've earned it. So the discard now, by the time you get to in the discard, what it looks like is this: they're less available. They're like totally not taking your calls at this point. They're somewhere else. You're like, where the hell are they? They are somewhere else. They're not taking calls. You're not hearing from them from days and weeks at a time. Why is this? That's because during the devaluation phase, when they started doing that, they already began looking for another source. They were already looking to replace you. By the time they began to talk, shit about you, to you, and do things like that, they were already at Best Buy or on Amazon Prime looking at toasters and reaching out to those toasters on dating websites, hanging out at the clubs and bars, getting leads from their friends, meeting people on the street. They already have the new toaster on speed dial, and they're spending their time love bombing, right? And giving all the affection and making this new toaster feel great, so the new toaster can fit in and they can keep the toast rolling. So that's what's up with that. So by the time you get to, and they started this, when they started getting a little funky with you, they started, because they always have to have someone lined up. A narcissist can't be by themselves. They cannot just, they can't be fair, and they can't, just go their own way. Right? They always have to have one supply or more lined up, ready to rock, ready to go. So that's pretty freaking pathetic, right? Because men, we don't really dig that too much. We don't like, women with, doing the whole man thing. And damn, don't you think that's kind of foul, man? I don't know, the modern woman, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna see this right here and this right here. No, that's another thing for another time. But that's with just some bullshit, what I'm saying, some real. All right, so anyway, what we do is they're out there. Now that you're not hearing from them through the discard piece, right? You can forget it. They're already whatever, and what they're waiting on is like a final blow, because narcissists will take their energy and attention from you in different ways. One positive and also negative. So they don't mind if they don't get you admiring them and giving them adulation and all that stuff. If you just, get really upset and they got you all, hunched over in pain, they're like, yeah, I'm important. I'm significant. This is great. I got to tell you, I feel some shame when I voice the words and the sentiment of a narcissist, even though I'm just acting it out, as I act it out, it feels disgraceful and kind of despicable. And so when I lean into it and try to make it compelling, like, this is great, I feel like dirty, like, damn, like, this is how they roll. You know what I mean? Like, who in the hell gets pleasure from doing this? Who? And there you go. Humanity. Are they human? Look, I got my opinion. I leave you to make yours. But that's the discard. So they're going to come back on your birthday or your some special anniversary or something like that. And they're going to be like, hey, I'm with Todd now. I'm not dealing with you anymore. You suck, or whatever it is. They're going to drive it in your face, throw a couple of pictures on social media of them smiling, laughing, and all that kind of crap. And, and they leave you broken off to the side. That's your discard right there. They might just fade off, though. They could do that too. But the one thing that they absolutely don't want you to do is they don't want you to make the first move. They can't stand it when you leave them because of the abandonment issues. No matter how dirty they do you, they always feel a sense of entitlement to you, or they feel like things should be on their terms. I can't really hope to explain this in a way to make you understand all of the nuances of their crazy ass logic and thinking, because it's ridiculous. But what I can do is frame it in a way that helps you to kind of look at it properly. And that will help make sense. Narcissists, regardless of their age, as an adult, are always somewhere around the ages of 3 and 7. And none of them are really much above 11. 11 years old emotionally. So if you ever want to really understand a narcissist and what the hell kind of whacked out things they're doing, okay, you're going to have to take the mentality of an angry, emotionally dysregulated, kind of twisted up ass kid, not an intelligent kid, right? Because they're intelligent 11-year-olds with issues. Watch some YouTube videos, hang around some of them, start to get that into your brain, and then mix in the capability of an adult. That would be like able to drink, drive, have sex, work a job, get married, engage in contract, have responsibility, right? Normally, we don't think of a young child of doing these things. And so when you look at the outer appearance and the package and the whole mask of the narcissist from a distance, they look like a normal adult. And so when they begin to engage in all this like infidelity, sleeping around with just anybody and lying about it, right? It makes no sense. You're like, what the hell? It makes no sense. But if you could somehow transplant an 11-year-old brain, like Frankenstein, the Frankenstein monster, remember? The Frankenstein monster, where they went wrong with Frankenstein, because y'all don't remember that damn story, is they put this body together. It was like a collection of arms and all this stuff, right? And so they got them all laid out. The dude sold them up. Now, Dr. Frankenstein was going to juice this thing up, but he sent Igor, his assistant, to the graveyard to go get brains for the monster, and Igor went and got a damn criminal brain, right? Instead of getting like a mathematician, a scientist, a doctor, I don't know, a counselor or therapist or something like that, Igor went and got a criminally insane mind and comes back. They put that brain in the damn monster, juice them up, and now the monsters run around. The monsters don't know whether to punch a hole in the wall or kill somebody. The monsters don't know because his brain is whacked out. And that was the big thing, right? The brain affected, of course, his actions and personality. Well, when you see a narcissist, think about the narcissist as being a Frankenstein, this monster that's concocted of fragments. There's really nothing there. It's just a collection of fragments. And driving it is an upset, angry, deeply wounded young child's mind. And because of the appearance, they're able to enter into all these adult-like situations. And they can hurt people, and they do hurt people on a very deep level. There you go. So I hope that you got some value out of this video. We've covered quite a bit. We talked about how the narcissist begins, where they come from, the stages of the hunt, and how these narcissists will pick out their victims, various stages from the idealization to the devaluation and ultimately to the discard, and how they see people as like toaster ovens that could give a damn, they don't care about a damn toaster. They just want toast. We talked about why the victim just hangs along in the throes of the abuse because they're hoping for that fantasy. The narcissist sells a fantasy and they get your ass hooked into it. And so it's that belief. But the truth is, the narcissist is nothing. The narcissist is simply an empty vessel. It's like an onion, right? In a fruit that has some kind of promise. Inside that fruit, you're going to find a pit or a seed, something of worth and value to go forward with. A narcissist is like an onion in that you can peel an onion and what will happen? It'll make you cry And when you ultimately get to the center of that onion, there's no pit. There's nothing. There's just nothing but layers and layers of pain and just chaos. That's it. So if you like this video, I would like to encourage you to subscribe, hit the like button, and to share this video with people that you feel that would benefit from this information. Not only will hitting the notification bell notify you when I upload additional videos, it'll also make your food taste better. So in closing, I'd like to encourage each and every one of you to remember to care for yourself, to love yourself, while making a difference for someone else. Until next time.